Are you off? No.
Far away. No, I thought that when you found me up there. Tony Pond ever sitting in this guy?
Develop a car if the passengers do this from drivers, unless you're Tony Pond, because you can do it. And talk about what's going on, what we're going to have for lunch. It's exciting. And we're doing it for some people just really thought. I drove, I think it was that one, back from the Nats, well, from Asian Docks, down to Worcestershire, and I discovered that. Actually, this is after the rain, but I discovered it didn't actually need anything apart from top, because there was so much change.
Do it anyway.
You just coast along.
Well, I'd have to say actually this holds in fifth gear. So wherever the WL9 camshaft was designed to do, it certainly does it. Because it's like I put my foot down and it was only halfway down, and I was well over the national speed limit and then some. And I thought, whoa, that came out of nowhere.
Just admitted to because you weren't on the road.
Well, all I said was across the national speed limit and didn't say which road or where or anything else, did I? But it doesn't matter really, does it? You were going to come here today anyway, or you just...
No, I would have done had I
remembered.
There's so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
So busy. I'd sort of taken not noticed that.
Well, I'm glad I reminded you. I'm glad you're here because
That's great.
and
I've met some other interesting people. And I'm glad that you looked after
it will get very well looked after because it's like my pride and joy. Well, I've got another one actually, but it's a toss up which one I prefer the most now.
Thank you
This
very
one,
much.
well, thank you. Thank you for designing the car suspension. Didn't it?
Well, as you said, the changes on
Yeah, but it can happen if it's unspent.
Yeah, well, that's what Gary Owen told me, and he said they put it to the board, and he said, look, it's not going to cost you much, and you'd have the best car on the planet. And they went, no, we're going to stop it, and they killed it. Where was the common sense in that? Nothing. That was it. It was the last one. Well, they replaced it with the Triumph Plane. That was on. There was no more sports cars. This was the last.
We did the 150 miles an hour down the straight. Okay.
Well, Gary Owen told me that he wasn't allowed to do it. Somebody called Jim had to do it because they wouldn't let him because he wasn't a professional driver or something. Who would Jim be? No idea.
No idea. I didn't know about the 150 mile an hour.
No, I didn't either till I found it. Somebody found it in an article. I'll show you. Well, actually, it should be in the one that I sent you last night because it will be in there. I collected a lot of it, but Same steering wheel, I haven't changed it. I was tempted to put a new one on, but then I just thought, well, it's got so much heritage and so much history in it.
What's wrong with it?
Eh?
What's wrong with it?
Well, nothing really, but I mean, if it was me normally, I'd be moaning about the scratches. But
Well, you can take the scratches out.
well, it's in like a lacquer. It'll have to be taken back and flattered and sorted out again. But
don't ever polish the steering wheel.
no, it slips through your hands. I've learned that lesson a few years ago with a different TR8.
My wife did that too. I went up the road and nearly crashed because unless you're gripping it like that.
I heard, it must be 30 odd years ago, a manager at Solihull, and I can't remember the name of the manager who told me, sent me a copy of your memo. Hurdwell memo, that's famous as well, particularly in America. And he said, I saw this and I thought, God, that is the TR8 I've got to own one day. And then I started asking people where it was, and nobody knew where it was.
Well, I asked the TR register, which I was a member, and they knew who got the car, and then they come back to me and said, no, under no circumstances they're going to sell it.
Right.
And that wasn't all that long ago, so I was quite surprised to find that it was in the auction that they had sold it.
Because it was in a remote auction in Northern Ireland, I only knew because I'd run a computer program that looks for TR8s in auctions, and of course I knew the registration number. So that is how I eventually tracked it down.
Very good.
But if I hadn't bought it, it would have gone to a local because he was bidding against me. And he'd have probably ripped all that off, put a holly on it and changed loads on it, which would have been a great shame. So I count myself incredibly lucky to have rescued it. Even more lucky that I'm able to talk to you about it. But,
well, I have to say, on the pictures you sent originally,
yeah.
I wasn't keen on the gold wheels.
But you've changed your mind.
They sort of go with the hood, but the hood colour's not, to me, well, it says in there we went to the wind tunnel. I can't remember, but we probably did because we took everything to the wind tunnel, played around with all the various bits and pieces, probably doing the rally car at the same time. Because normally when you put something in the wind tunnel, well, in those days, you'd expect the air to go into the radiator at the front, but they've got a big wand. You stand there with your wand and sort of paraffin vapour coming out of it. And quite often the air's rushing up to the front of the car, and then it sort of slows down and then finds its way all over the place. And most cars in those days, the air didn't all go through the radiator.
Right.
Because you get blockage underneath. Cold air.
But the notes on the original memo said it did up to 30% lift reduction.
Well, the front, that's one of the reasons why it would be a lot better, because if you're going fast, then because there's quite a lot of lift on the front, then the front's going to go light, so then the steering's going to become less and less effective.
That today didn't go light, as in the one I had in Germany. That was quite precise, and it didn't. There was no movement or wobble. It just went in a straight line.
Well, there would be a combination of things, but that would have had quite a big effect on the speed. Yeah.
So it's worth putting that spoiler on the TR8 then.
Yeah.